don't know what I was doing below the fog. My memory, I remember nothing. But something, it calls me back to these lands to become Elden Lord.
This is where the journey of this Tarnished begins. A Tarnished is a person who was banned from the lands between and lost its blessing. As of now, this person does not know he is Tarnished. His memory is empty, but only a few things occupy it at this moment. The Golden Order, the Earth Tree, the Elden Ring, and the Outer God. He does not even remember his own name, but until we know more about him, we will call him T. T is to see himself stand before the Elden Ring and become the Elden Lord. But why? He stares at the beauty of the Earth Tree, the greatest symbol of faith and hope. The Earth Tree is what spreads the blessing within the lands between that is powered by the Elden Ring, given by the Greater Will, the Outer God. That blessing is what protects life on these lands. As much as T tries to remember his past, the urge to be the Elden Lord is what he seems to only be able to focus on. On his left is a castle. As much as the Tarnished feels the need to stand before the Elden Ring to become the Elden Lord, he also has a need to seek the castle. The Tarnished then looks in the far stretch. A heavily geared horseman is seen.
He might have answers to my questions, but his armor, why am I disrobed?
T approaches the sentinel for answers to what is happening, but the horse and knight stare the Tarnished down intensely. Feeling uneasy, T grips a club he found on his way to the lands between when suddenly the sentinel aggresses the Tarnished. Trying to flee, T is quickly caught by the enemy. Seeing no other choice, he must engage into combat.
Their bodies vanished! No! How did I defeat a bigger, heavily armored enemy? I don't remember knowing how to fight. I must have been lucky.
The Tarnished looks around him and notices debris from a structure laying around. He feels like he's seen a similar architectural style before, but no matter how hard he tries to remember, it is all too vague. Having broken pieces of structure laying around has definitely piqued his curiosity. Enough distractions. The Tarnished walks further down a path to reach the castle, but there are soldiers ahead.
I need answers, but they may be unfriendly as well. Seems I was right. Unlike the Sentinel earlier, their bodies haven't vanished. I wonder what that means. Seriously, what is happening here? I find myself below the fog. Certain enemies vanish before my eyes. Every being seems to be my enemy. I don't remember any of my past, and this urge to become Lord. Something seems different, not as I remember it to be.
It may seem that T vaguely remembers what the lands between was like before. As he continues on the path, he notices another piece of structure, the same as earlier, then sees a ruin a little further and wonders why everything seems unmaintained.
More soldiers. That's the way to the castle, and I must pass by. But they are numerous. I don't think I could take on that many. I'll go exploring. Perhaps I may find answers to what is going on with this place.
During his travels, T feels a presence trying to get him on track to head to the castle, but he brushes that feeling off, thinking it's only an urge that he does not understand yet.
Oi! You there! Could you help us out?
Confused, T looks around and notices a bush drier than what surrounds it.
You? Yeah, you there! Stop pretending you can't see me!
The voice is heard closer. Feeling strange about the bush, he attacks it. Some rat-looking creature appears as the bush disappears.
The name's Bok. I was pushed out of the cave. Told not to come back. Not ever. Then I ended up as a tree. Lucky you came along, really.
Bok then explains his clan, all demi-humans, turned him into a bush so he does not come back. Wanting to express his gratitude for freeing him from that spell, the rat affirms he must go back to the cave located on shore to get his sewing kit in hand. The Tarnished looks at himself.
A sewing kit? Who do you think I am? Now, if you don't mind, I got things to do.
Feeling self-conscious and embarrassed about his situation, T walks away to his business, lightly hearing the rat say, "But I must repay you for your help." Only later does the Tarnished walk back on his steps, as he would feel responsible if anything were to happen to the rat, as he believes the rat went back to the cave. Wandering along the shore, the Tarnished sees another piece of a structure.
Maybe those structural pieces fell from the sky. Nah, what am I saying?
T finally stumbles on a cave and enters it. He ends up finding Bok, injured, laying on the cold ground.
Oh. What are you doing here? You must leave this place at once. They'll rush in and beat you to a pulp. You'll end up just like me.
Feeling irritated yet responsible for this situation, the Tarnished heads further into the cave, only to see a gang of demi-humans yelling at his presence.
Here, your needle kit.
Is that what I think it is? You got it back for me. My sewing needle.
The Tarnished finds a place to rest while having in mind.
Why would you treat your own kind in such ways?
Bok, on the other hand, gets to work, regardless of being injured, and after a few long minutes, T is handed a pair of pants. It is Bok's way of thanking him for everything.
My mum was a seamstress, and that sewing kit was all I had to remember her by. I always wanted to be just like sweet old mum.
The Tarnished wonders what happened to Bok's family. Furthermore, Bok declares to be T's personal seamster. Clearly the Tarnished needs no seamster, but he accepts to bring joy to the rat. Once done with their chatting, the Tarnished heads off to the castle, leaving Bok behind to recover, as he feels ready to face more enemies after fighting an entire clan. On his way to the castle, T stumbles on the same ruin he passed by earlier, still packed with many soldiers. Seeing no way around without getting spotted as guards are facing every direction, the Tarnished decides to charge in the camp and attack every single soldier. With all of them defeated, he marches forth only to have sight of a shack. T decides to take a look but notices a young woman sitting on the floor. She seems distressed.
You're all on your own, are you? And heading to Stormvale Castle? Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed the sea for me. They fought for me. Only to have their arms taken, their legs taken, even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off, or legs, or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven.
Taking limbs from our own kind, ripped from their bodies to be grafted on oneself.
That thought has given shivers down the tarnished spine. Having that in mind, he is rethinking his decision to go forth to Stormvale Castle. Feeling unready to face such a being, T turns around and heads off for some more adventuring to clear off his mind and possibly find answers. Wandering around, the Tarnished is not paying attention to his surroundings, still having on repeat in his thoughts the woman and her words about the spider.
I don't know her name.
Suddenly, T's thoughts are interrupted by a figure in the distance, rushing straight for him with passion, but surely with bad intentions. As they fight, the Tarnished feels overwhelmed, but another figure swoops into action to help. With the enemy dealt with, the helper walks away. This is the first time someone has helped T. Not letting this opportunity slide, T follows the man and catches up to him.
Another structure.
To have fought in Nereus and lived, you must have seen your share of battle. I am Yura, hunter of bloody fingers, tarnished, held in thrall by cessblood, zealots, who stalk their own. You stay the path, you're certain to face more of them. Just remember, no kinship with their ilk remains. Their madness precludes it. Don't let your emotions stay your blade.
Now that the Tarnished is aware of such enemy, he will never let his guard down wherever he goes.
You do well to steer clear of a Gil Lake. Dragon roosts there, and it's as fearsome as it is majestic. So, unless you're mad or wish to be burned alive, stay clear of the lake. Don't be a fool. Turn back before it's too late.
Ah, the mentioning of a dragon lurking around has piqued T's interest. Reaching an end to their conversing, both head their separate ways.
Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again, if fate permits.
A dragon.
Although the Tarnished does not remember much of his past, knowing there is a dragon around has agitated something in him. The dragon must be defeated, though is unsure why he has such thoughts. T heads to the lake seeking the dragon, regardless of being armorless and having no protection. Perhaps dealing with such a beast will probably open a part of his memory.
There are pieces everywhere of similar stone structure. Maybe something really did fall from the sky.
Here it comes, a dragon coming from the sky, making a landing, sweeping the entire area.
A dragon before me. This feels like deja vu.
With adrenaline rushing through his veins, the Tarnished does not wait any longer and fights the beast.
Picking a fight with a dragon. Well, I can tell you want to see it through. Seems I'm forever crossing paths with hotheads like you.
They make an amazing duo. They have fought this majestic beast, giving peace to those who wish to wander this lake. Seeing Yura not react to the vanishing of the dead dragon's body, the Tarnished is starting to think it may be some normal occurrence. Yura explains how he saw a spark and knew T would go after the dragon. He lets the Tarnished know he won't always be there to save the day, to listen to his warnings more seriously. Yura takes his leave, hoping to cross paths with the Tarnished again. With all fear cast aside, T heads to Stormvale Castle. For real this time.
If I can defeat a dragon, that spider should be no match for me.
Approaching the castle, but to no surprise, many soldiers are guarding the outer entry passageway. As we all know by now, that is no challenge to T.
In search of the Elden Ring.
The spider?
Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
No.
Someone must extinguish thy flame. Let it be Margit the Fell.
To have faced such an impressive enemy. I wonder what is held here that I so desire.
As T arrives at the castle gate, the passage is closed. He looks around for a way in, but notices a skinny man standing still in a corner. Sensing no threat coming from the man, T goes to talk with him. The skinny guy recommends taking a detour, but the Tarnished insists on passing through the gate. So the slim man orders the gates to be opened.
The gates! Open the gates!
The obstacles that awaits the Tarnished has made it complicated to navigate, but he bests everything in his way. Before he realizes it, he ends up before some thick green fog where his urges seem more intense.
What is the meaning of this? What I seek must lie behind this fog.
Plain as a lord. I command thee, kneel!
Seeing this sight has brought fear to the Tarnished, but is quickly replaced by bravery as he does not want to face the same fate as the women's fellows. He cannot believe what he just saw, feeling disgusted and irritated for the lack of respect that man gives the corpse. He does not wait any longer and charges furiously. Finally, the Tarnished finished the fight victoriously. But on the ground where the body had vanished, a glowing artifact catches his eye. As soon as he picks the item up, he finds himself in an unknown area.
What happened? Where am I?
T is confused. He evaluates his surroundings and notices people, just like him, minding their own business. Seeing as no one is a threat, he goes to the nearest person to understand what is happening.
Oh, this is a rare occasion. Very well. As your senior, I bid you welcome.
The senior also mentions it is safe here, but for now, T is only a house guest. He must earn his keep, and to earn it, he must receive the words of the two fingers. If he is deemed worthy by it, T is to seek the senior in his office. Upon entering a room, there are giant fingers, two in the far back, chilling perhaps, but he also notices an old lady. He addresses her as he has no idea how to communicate with the fingers.
Are you that new Tarnished? You've done well. I am Enya, the Finger Reader. I interpret the words of the fingers, envoys to the greater will. Look there. The fingers tremble to welcome you, Shardbearer. Let their wisdom wash over you. Great Elden Ring, root of the Golden Order.
To put the words of the two fingers simply, the Elden Ring is what keeps the Golden Order, the ruler of the lands between, standing. But when the Elden Ring was shattered by the greater ruler Marika, the Golden Order was never the same and the lands between have been suffering. All Tarnished were called back from the dead to these lands, guided by grace to seek the missing Elden Ring shards. With all the shards back, it will restore the Golden Order as well as the lands between to how things used to be. As a reward, the title of Elden Lord will be given. This is the moment Tyr realizes he is tarnished. One who was once dead and banished from these lands, not wanted by many. That would explain why every encounter with the beings of these lands have been bad.
What is the meaning of this? I have been banned from this land before? No. I was dead and brought back to life. Is that the reason why I can't remember any of my past? Who I was? What was I like before all this? Plus, this urge to be the Elden Lord. Whatever keeps calling me is a guidance called grace?
Now that T has a better understanding of what is happening, he is feeling conflicted.
Why bring those whom they banished back to solve a problem that was caused by the Order? By the gods themselves?
You've received the wisdom of the Two Fingers, have you not? Then I bid you welcome, as a true member of the Round Table. I am known as Gideon Ofnir.
He proceeds to say that this place is the Round Table that unites those who once lost grace. All Tarnished can be guided here with the help of grace.
As a Tarnished who wishes to stand before the Elden Ring and become Elden Lord, I am accumulating knowledge. To be all-knowing. You'll be after more great runes now, eh? Then as your fellow, allow me to divulge a little knowledge. The inheritors of the great runes, the shard bearers. We of the Round Table know the location of 5 of them. General Radahn, who fought Malenia and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid wilds. Praetor Rykard, Lord of the volcano manor of Mount Gelmir. Morgoth, the Grace-Given, Veiled Monarch and Lord of Leyndell. Renala, Queen of the Full Moon, ruler of Rhea Lucaria's Academy, and, including the one you defeated, Godric the Grafted, Lord of Stormvale, to Limgrave's northwest. Despite being the blood of Godfrey, first Elden Lord, he's a grotesque old fool grasping for power.
Yes, the mentioning of Godfrey has brought a vague memory back to the Tarnished. The first Elden Lord, a great warrior and Marika's consort. He has fought many wars protecting the blessing brought by the Greater Will to keep the lands between safe from many threats. But that is as much as T can remember about this matter for now. Let's get back on track. All demigods possess a rune, an Elden Ring shard, giving them the title of Shard Bearer. T is impressed that he himself has defeated a literal demigod, the Spider, Godric, and obtained his first shard.
The Academy of Rhea Lucaria lies to Limgrave's north, towering over the mist-laden lands of Luirnia. Renala is queen of the Carian royals, who govern the Academy, but Renala herself is no demigod. Her beloved Radagon left her to become Queen Marika's second husband, taking the title of King Consort. The Great Rune dwells within the amber egg that was Radagon's gift to her.
Why would Radagon leave Renala for someone else? A greater title, maybe? If Radagon is the current lord, what happened to Godfrey?
With Grace and Gideon to guide him, becoming Elden Lord seems more like reality, but the Tarnished is uncertain if he should jump for joy or rebel with his chosen path. With all of that in mind, T's confidence is through the roof. If he can defeat a demigod, he can defeat anything and anyone. Before departing, the Tarnished decides to explore the area and catches sight of some creature in chains on his ankles, working steel. He says his name is Hugh. He is a prisoner and a smith, and is to serve all Tarnished at the Round Table. It is his punishment for what he did in the past. The smith then hands over a sword to T, claiming it be better than a club. Finishing off with the smith, he then heads to exit, but notices a familiar face.
The woman from the shack!
Nice to see you again. My name is Roderica. I should have told you sooner. I'm still looking for my own purpose.
With the knowledge we know, Roderica is tarnished and guided to be a lord, but she feels unsuited for such a task, as she does not see her guidance. She believes she was brought to the round table by her guide in hopes of finding her purpose. Finishing off with their conversation, she thanks T for ridding the spider.
You have my gratitude.
The air felt free in Limgrave, and she could finally rest her mind on that matter. T wishes the best on her finding her purpose, and he heads off, brought at the backside of Stormvale Castle, to reach Luirnia and the Academy. Standing over the edge of the cliff, he sees a great view of Luirnia.
Must be the Academy. Renala would be held up there.
Behind him, Bok is patiently waiting to have a word with T.
Good to see you, Master. Do you remember me?
Both converse some more. During that time, the Tarnished wonders how Bok feels now that he is clanless. He seems to be enjoying himself at this very moment, which reassures the Tarnished on that matter. T takes his leave after finishing with their chatting, but on his way to the Academy, following the guidance of Grace, he is stopped by a stranger. A sorcerer, perhaps. After knowing T's intention to visit the Academy, the stranger explains that a magical barrier wards off any who are not invited. No attacks, not even spells, can break it. Without a glintstone key, none may enter. The Tarnished notices his grace giving him another route, heading to the west of the Academy. He thanks the sorcerer for that information and heads off only to yet again be interrupted by another stranger.
Hello? Is someone there? My name is Hayata.
She further elucidates she is in search of Shabriri grapes but is blind. The grapes will help her see the distant light once again and give her a chance to become a Finger Maiden. A Finger Maiden's purpose is to serve a chosen Tarnished, to share the guidance and wisdom that is given by the two fingers. Hayata also describes the grapes as round, gooey, with yellow and orange colors, according to other people she came across. The Tarnished promises to bring her some if he finds them, says goodbye for now, and heads off to follow the new way Grace has given him. Now, we are back on track with no other interruptions. It is a hell of a walk, but the Tarnished eventually reaches the destination. But there is one problem. A dragon is sleeping in sight. The Tarnished feels the same agitation he felt when Yura mentioned the dragon in Limgrave. Though he is unsure why he reacts that way towards dragons as well as the urge to fight them, he is reminded by Grace to keep track of his task. Walking up on the dragon sneakily, T sees a shiny object.
The key!
He makes his way around the dragon and makes it to the key, but also notices another item. A yellow, round, oozing object.
Could this be the item Hayata asked me to find? Those look like eyes. Corrupted human eyes.
Looking similar to Hayata's item description, T picks it up but can't help but feel disgusted about it. He places both items in his pockets and to his surprise, the dragon has awakened. The Tarnished was so focused on the objects that he did not pay attention to the dragon, and within that second, both engaged in combat. To have defeated yet another of those majestic beasts while also obtaining the key to the Academy, acquiring Hayata's item, and trying out his sword for the first time with no complications. The Tarnished feels fulfilled right now. The path given by Grace has changed directions to the academy, but the Tarnished heads off to see Hayata first before he forgets about her and her item, disregarding the long travel.
Many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
And the Tarnished is off to the academy.
Hello? Please.
Just when things were going smoothly, T is yet again interrupted on his path.
What is it this time?
Over here. I am Raya, in the service of Lady Tanith of the Volcano Manor. My mistress sent me off on an errand.
She explains her errand is to recruit people to the Volcano Manor and go against the Earth Tree.
You are very brave yourself. The steady heart, merciless. Such strength is precisely what my mistress seeks.
According to Raya, the words of the Two Fingers are all lies, and we must stand up against that, even if it means we must fight against our own kind. The Two Fingers are messengers that pass on the words of the Outer God. Many beings have praised and followed the Greater Will for the blessing he has spread across these lands, protecting all life on it, except those who lost the guidance once, such as himself. This is no hard decision for the Tarnished to make. Although he does not remember his past, he believes there is a proper reason he was banished from these lands, like any other Tarnished, and they are to redeem themselves for helping restore the order. To the Tarnished's eye, he sees Raya's errand as a joke, someone who wants to spread awareness of some cult that is being built or some sort. Wanting no part in this, he sends his farewell to Raya and continues his path to the academy. At the academy gate, the Tarnished takes out the glintstone key from his pocket and passes through the barrier. With success, the Tarnished finds himself inside the academy grounds, but is surprised to also find himself facing people fighting. He notices one of them is Yura. Remembering Yura's objective to hunt down those who are driven by some madness, the Tarnished goes and gives him a hand.
Thanks for your help there. That bloody finger was a thorn in my side. And now I'm finally rid of him. I may not have much time. I'm dying to see you. Eleonora. Violet Bloodyfinger. Yes, I've been tracking Eleonora for quite some time. She is the deadliest of all Bloody Fingers. She's felled many an old hand already, but in spite of her cessblood zealotry, Eleonora is a proud knight. If she comes for you, do not think twice. You must flee. There is no shame in self-preservation.
Both Tarnished have a seat to talk some more and rest.
To have a relaxing moment and chat with a friend is quite enjoyable.
But their moment together eventually came to an end, as both have some business to attend to.
Perhaps we will meet again, if fate permits.
I was not expecting this place to feel so grim.
T walks down the only path that is before him, only to be met by students of this academy with a warm welcome.
I know I may be trespassing, but why are they so hostile?
And of course, there are more students on the other side of this door aggressing the Tarnished. This school is filled with students who wish to learn the magic sorceries of these lands. The Tarnished knows what he is doing is wrong and hesitates to fight some more, but is reminded by Grace that these lands must be restored to how things used to be. So he pushes through, fighting whoever faces him until he finds himself before gigantic doors. The calling of Grace is stronger, indicating that the library Renala is locked into is right here.
Hush, little Calva. I'll soon birth thee anew, a sweeting, fresh and pure.
Immediately, Grace hints the Tarnished to fight the children who carry the golden aura. They hold the barrier that keeps Renala safe.
But they are only children! This is not what I signed up for.
Grace reminds T that Renala holds the rune of the unborn. She can bring them back. He still hesitates, but Grace gives him a small push of influence, and the Tarnished then gets to business.
She is playing around with the rune, ending and renewing these children's lives for her own benefit?
By the end of it all, Renala surrenders.
Where did ye flee, my sweetings? Come out from whence ye hide.
Remembering what Gideon had told him, that egg was a gift to her from Radigan, her former lover, though she still loves him dearly. Behind her, T notices a big statue.
Could that be Radigan?
Renala, without saying a word, uses her magic and out appears the rune. She gives it to the Tarnished but keeps a piece to herself as it is all she has from Radigan. T understands, thanks Renala, and suddenly finds himself at the round table hold.
My, look at you. Only once before have I seen two great runes together. Look there. The fingers shudder with exuberance.
I see you found another great rune. Wonderful. You are a worthy fellow Tarnished indeed. General Radahn, the famed Red Lion and Scourge of the Stars, is a ferocious warrior. He fought Malenia and her rot to a standstill in the Caelid wilds to Limgrave's east. And now Caelid has been engulfed by the Scarlet Rot. Even approaching the region is no mean feat. I've heard survivors of Radahn's army are still in the wilds, staving off the rot with fire. And if it's true, I suspect Radahn is still there as well, in Caelid. Though, I doubt he much resembles his former self anymore.
The Tarnished notices a change in Grace's path that seems to be leading to Caelid.
Where's Roderica?
He looks around the area and sees Roderica accompanying Hugh. She explains how Hugh found promise in her to spirit tune. Spirit tuning is a form of making your spirit companion stronger with the aid of a spirit tuner. The Tarnished is pleased Roderica has found her purpose.
I can happily announce that he has taught me the noble toil of spirit tuning. I'm as yet unsure of what I might be able to accomplish, but if I might be able to help you all, I'd certainly like to try.
He wishes her the best, and with that done, the Tarnished now heads off to seek the great rune Radahn holds in Caelid. The Tarnished spawned at the shack in Limgrave where he first met Roderica. Right away, T catches sight of a stone structure.
Structure pieces. Again, I've only noticed those in Limgrave.
He remembers Gideon saying Caelid won't be an easy area to walk through. He thinks of many scenarios that can happen during his time in such place.
The worst that could happen would be to suffer from the rot, die a slow death.
During his walk to Caelid, the Tarnished notices a shack in the distance.
Not seen you before. Name's Bernal. Tarnished, just like you. Let me ask you something. Are you here in the lands between to take up the fight? Does your faith in the guidance of grace hold firm, despite the collapse of the Golden Order?
With everything that has happened, having no memory, having to seek shards to restore the Order to be the Elden Lord, guided by grace, T is still unsure what to think of this current situation.
Honest to a fault, I see. Such thoughts won't behoove you as a Tarnished. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Bernal then offers to share his battle art skills with T, but T refuses as he has a task to attend to.
Not floating your boat, eh? Well, there's no rush. Knowledge of the arts can wait another day.
And the Tarnished leaves to continue his way to Caelid.
The scarlet is spreading.
Seeing the Limgrave ground being invaded by Caelid's rot scares the Tarnished a bit. With hesitation, he makes his way to a crumbling church that he sees in the near stretch of land to rest after that long walk, but he is suddenly invaded by a bloody finger. He ends the bloody invader and recalls.
Zealots who stalk their own. You're certain to face more of them.
He wonders if Yura is still chasing Eleanor down, but that has nothing to do with the Tarnished. Grace reminds him to keep track of his task and he continues forth, disregarding the rest he wanted to take.
The land and nature itself. Everything is rotten. And that smell.
The sight that Caelid holds is heartbreaking.
I want to get out of here and be done with this place.
The Tarnished, not wanting to stay here any longer, continues his way following the path. The sight of everything is horrendous. Walking dead men, parasites, and zombified animals were encountered on T's path, but something he was not anticipating to find during his travels. A dragon.
What? How is the dragon still alive? Look at it!
Seeing clouds of rot coming out of the dragon disgusts and frightens the Tarnished, as he is afraid to inhale it and succumb to it. But knowing that even if he flees the fight, the beast will catch up quickly. So his only option is to fight it. However, the more the both of them fight, the more the tarnished fear changes to excitement, and more time passes, the agitation he feels towards this fight increases to the point of having to eliminate the beast, just like the other dragons he's fought.
That dragon was very much alive by how it fought. Did it adapt to the rot? What a nightmare I fought.
Gideon claims Radahn was a ferocious warrior. Having that in mind, after fighting a rotten dragon, T fears that fighting Radahn might be a complicated ordeal. The Tarnished has arrived at a fort where Grace has taken him. Radahn's soldiers fighting the living rotten. They are so focused on their battle that T passes through unnoticed. In the fort, there seems to be a celebration of some sort.
Champions! Welcome! The stars have aligned! The festival is nigh! General Radahn, mightiest demigod of the Shattering, awaits you! Champions, prepare for battle! Defeat the General, claim glory, and grab that great rune! A celebration of war! The Radahn Festival!
Radahn, being a mighty and honorable warrior. During a war called the War of the Shattering, the scarlet rot millennia has bloomed took over Radahn's body. He became more beast than men. Regardless, he still holds his great rune. The festival is a gathering of many tarnished to fight alongside each other, both to have their hands on the shard and to free him from his miserable torture by giving him an honorable death.
Are you good and prepared, young chum?
Yes, I am ready to participate.
But now, we must make merry.
O gathering of champions! The revels begin! The celebration of war! The Radahn Festival!
What a way to go on with this. Although I don't remember much, Radahn must have been a great character deserving this. As Radahn's body slowly vanished, many of us cheered for his freedom, a day to always remember. Then they all approached me and said that I had something no others had, that I was the only one worthy of carrying Radahn's rune.
Roderica is pleased to know there are many Tarnished fighting alongside each other and agreed that there is something special about T, but can't place a finger on it.
I feel like I'm really coming to grips with spirit tuning of late. I can see how and why immortal essence exists, a spirit under the Golden Order. I can understand their yearnings, what they become drawn to. Master Hugh said it himself, actually, that I'm no mere apprentice any longer. Once again, I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. Roderica, the certified spirit tuner.
She further adds that when one dies, the Earth Tree takes on their spirit so they can live a happy afterlife, which is what she would like to think. But she knows something is a bit off with the spirit realm on that matter. Knowing that information, it has made the Tarnished feel more at ease, but after recalling some fights he fought, some of the enemies did not vanish. Maybe it's because they require more time to get taken. The more both Tarnished converse, the more T felt she was worried about something. He asks her what is wrong. She was hesitant about it but finally came forward with it.
I need to warn you about something. A little while ago, someone started lurking in the wing on the opposite side of the round table, and I can hear, from all the way over there, the howling and wailing of spirits in fear of a curse. I can even hear the repulsive twisted malice in itself, a plethora of spirits in an unceasing cacophony. I can't even imagine. How much suffering inflicted to who knows how many souls. Not even the grafting caused anything like this to happen. You should keep your distance. I know you're strong, but please.
Being a spirit tuner must have its consequences, but for her to compare the negative energy she feels to Godric, what he did to other Tarnished is cruel, but there is something worse than him?
The Tarnished finishes off with their talk and goes to see Gideon. Although she told T not to deal with it, he decides to have a look down the hall but sees or senses nothing.
I see you found another great rune. Wonderful.
Gideon says he saw the stars move. Too many. Stars are a symbol of fate and destiny. By learning the magic of gravity, Radahn managed to stop the stars from moving, even while the rod took over him. By doing so, many of the people's fate, future, and destiny were put to a stop. According to Gideon, the meteor that was seen falling was the main reason the stars were put to a halt, though he is not sure what the actual reason is and he deems it best not to look into it. At this point, Gideon believes they have collected enough runes to fix the Elden Ring and is all excited to announce T's new task.
Journey to the capital, Leyndell, to the east of the Altus Plateau, at the foot of the Erd Tree. The Two Fingers will deny your passage no longer. You may be our best hope. Find your way to the Elden Ring, for we are tarnished, and we must answer the call of grace.
Could this really be it? Only the few shards I gathered will be enough to fix the Elden Ring and restore the order? Am I to be a lord? No tricks?
The Tarnished is feeling semi-content. He is still unsure if he should be happy or not. Yes, becoming a lord would be a great honor, but he was once banned from these lands, revived from death. He would love to know about his past, to know who he really is. T will follow wherever grace guides him, to fix the order and bring back the lands between to its former state.
Morgoth the Grace-given is Lord of Leyndell, the capital city.
Morgoth still loved the Golden Order, regardless being born of Omen royalty and defending the capital when his fellow demigods invaded during the Shattering. But he also holds a great rune that T must take. As much as he already holds 3 great runes, a 4th one would be a sense of securing the fixing, and yet again, the Tarnished senses that Grace's path is changing, leading him to the capital. Before departing, the Tarnished seeks Enya to make sure that it really is the time to fix the Elden Ring.
Fine work. back, brave Tarnished. The Greater Will is pleased. You have earned the right to become Elden Lord. Now, seek the Erd Tree and an audience with Queen Marika to become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order. The Fingers expect as much from you as they do young Gideon. Now, go forth, become Elden Lord.
T is taken by Grace at the backside of Stormveil Castle, showing the way to Altus Plateau. His mind is filled with thoughts about many things that have happened and many things he wishes he knew the answer to. Why did Queen Marika shatter the Elden Ring? What did Godfrey do to lose his title of First Elden Lord? Why did Radagon leave Renala to be Marika's consort? He gifted her a great shard stored in amber, so he still thinks of her. Did he leave her out of selfishness to bear the title of Lord?
Yura wasn't present at the Radahn festival. He must really be busy chasing down Bloody Fingers. And Bach, it's been a while since I've seen him. I hope they're both okay. What is that I'm feeling?
The Tarnished is faintly sensing some bad energy.
Could this be what Roderica senses at the round table?
He is hesitant to keep going forward, but Grace guides him through it. He will trust that it is safe, but will keep his guard. He then sees someone in the near distance.
Oh, hello. Is that you over there?
Hyetta?
Have you ever heard of fingerprint grapes? They're special grapes which only grow on those who've been clasped by the burnt fingers. I would truly love to try one. The distant light seems far closer than before, but I can't sense a thing from the usual grapes anymore. Please, could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad.
Wow. Hello to you too. What is up with her? And brute fingers? There aren't only the 2 fingers?
T agrees to bring her the item she seeks, although is not sure whether to go search for it, as this situation itself feels suspicious. He says goodbye to her and leaves in the direction Grace takes him. The more he advances, the more that energy feels stronger.
Their eyes! What happened to them?
The Tarnished fights off the rats as they attack him, and by the end of it, he hears some loud growl of some sort. In that moment, he cannot help but feel drawn by the energy. Some big, flaming, eye-looking entity is roaming the sky. When he looks at it, his eyes start to burn, his mind is being messed with. The temptation to keep staring is strong, but T is able to resist. He is in fear and cannot get away. Everything feels chaotic. Even Grace tries to keep him on track, but that energy takes over everything. It is hard to think, and since he can't seem to get away from this chaos, the Tarnished decides to continue forth. Maybe he can rid that entity or escape it by doing so.
So many people seem trapped here. And their eyes. Have they been taken over by that entity?
The Tarnished sneakily passes by everything and pushes through, fighting through the struggles. He sees a church ahead, and upon approaching it, the energy from the eye is fainting more and more until it is felt no more. This allowed T to breathe more relaxed and think properly, but at this moment, a bloody invader appears and charges at T, mumbling, "May the flame of frenzy take over you."
This bloody finger is unlike others. He seems to be emitting some kind of energy similar to that entity. I can't get away from this. I feel like I might go mad.
With the enemy dealt with, the energy the man carried vanished with him. Grace was able to take the Tarnished back to Hyetta, since it is the last known location it remembers, away from all this chaos. Arrived in a safe area, T is in some shock after that experience. It is one he does not want to remember and enter again. Whatever spells that invader used against the Tarnished were terrifying. When it touched his skin, not only was it a burning sensation, but it was as if he was affected by something to make him go mad.
The flame of frenzy.
What a wondrous thing. A fingerprint grape.
That took the Tarnished by surprise, but he quickly feels something hot in his tight fist.
And how did I get my hands on this? Ugh, is this what you wanted? Do you have any idea what I went through?
A fingerprint grape. Tried and true. Oh, how sweet. Yet, how it burns. I've composed myself again. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart. I'm sure I'll be a finger maiden.
T wonders if the blessing of the fingers is that of the two fingers or that of the brute fingers she mentioned earlier. The Tarnished senses Grace's path change for a different route to avoid such event again. As he walks away to go forth his original task, he sends his farewell to Hayeta, hoping to never see her again. But she is not done conversing.
The yellow chaos flame.
What?
Hayeta continues saying that the flame of chaos is the answer to what is to come against the golden. Grace pushes the Tarnished to leave the area. The Tarnished leaves as he himself is tired of her nonsense before he gets involved with any more of this yellow flame and Hayeta herself. This is the longest the Tarnished has ever walked. Although he does not want to get involved, he is wondering what Hayeta meant by the yellow flame is the answer against the golden, though Grace finds a way to distract him from that thought. Finally, T manages to arrive at Altus Plateau. The sight is wonderful. The capital is right before his eyes.
Now, to stand before the Elden Ring, become Elden Lord, restore the Golden Order in the lands between.
He fights all who stand in his way courageously, following Grace's guidance. Finally, right before him, the entry to the capital's core. The entrance is guarded by some sentinel, refusing passage to T. The Tarnished is feeling overwhelmed and is unsure if he can defeat such enemy, but Grace keeps pushing him to fight as it is the duty it commands him to do.
What just happened? Where did that come from?
Now that is something that came out of nowhere but saved the Tarnished. He would like to know where that came from, but Grace keeps pushing him to move forth, leaving him no time to think about what had happened. The view is breathtaking. The more he approaches the Earth Tree, the more his heart pounds with motivation.
Do you remember me?
Bach!
They both converse, talking about their journeys, but is kept short as Grace is persistent on T heading to the foot of the Earth Tree.
Did you see it? The Earth Tree? I don't really have the words for this, but I was so dazzled. I felt something stir in my breast. The Erd tree is waiting for you, Master. I know it, I do. I feel it in my bones.
The Tarnished is pleased to hear that from a friend. Roderica, the Tarnished at the festival, and now Bok sees something in tea that no one else carries.
I want to believe it. I will truly be a lord. Fix everything.
The Tarnished thanks Bok for the trust he gives him and takes his leave.
Please do be safe on your journeys.
Many creatures and soldiers are on T's path, but that does not stop him from moving forward, and he bests them all.
This place looks awfully similar to the Round Table, though abandoned.
The Tarnished wants to explore that building as it could be important, but cannot lose track of his objective.
Later, perhaps. Godfrey? I know this is not the first real Elden Lord, but why did it fight me?
The answer against the Golden is what roams through T's mind, wondering if Hayata knows something that no one else knows. Grace keeps him distracted and orders him to move forward. Getting closer to the foot of the Erd tree, there is a thick green fog blocking the path.
Godric also had a fog in the way. Perhaps Morgoth is waiting.
Graceless, tarnished. What is thy business with these thrones? Ah, Godric the Golden. General Radahn, Praetor Rykard. Willful traitors, all. Thy kind are all of a piece. Pillagers, emboldened by the flame of ambition. Have it writ upon thy meager grave, felled by King Morgoth, last of all kings. shall not be forgiven.
With Morgoth defeated, the Tarnished grabs his shard and walks to the Erdtree to make his way inside. For the first time, T's beliefs grow strong.
This is really it. Fix the Elden Ring, be a lord, restore everything else, and possibly gain memories of my past back. To know who I really am. What? What is the meaning of this?
A magical barrier in the shape of thorns is refusing the Tarnished to move forth. Agitated, T asks Grace to have the thorns open up, but there is no response. The presence of Grace has disappeared. He hears in the distance Morgoth trying to reach out to the Tarnished.
Tarnished. Thou art but a fool. The Erdtree wards off all who deign approach. We are all forsaken. None may claim the title of Elden Lord. Thy deeds shall be met with failure, just as I.
What about fixing these lands? What about me? My past? I had hopes for nothing.
With being refused to enter the Erdtree, with Grace being absent, the Tarnished feels betrayed and upset. He does not know what to do. Knowing that remaining upset will not change things, he heads off for a walk to help clear his mind and find solutions to what is happening. Now that T has regained control over his thoughts from the anger, he calls to Grace to take him to the round table, but senses nothing from it. Not even the slightest of its presence.
Were the two fingers in Gideon wrong? What is the reason the Order has refused me passage? Are we really all forsaken? I had assumed that fixing these lands would bring my memory back, which angered me the most in this situation. I really wonder about that scaly paw that was summoned during the fight with that horseman.
The Tarnished's belief in the Order, in Grace, and in the words of the Two Fingers have drastically diminished. He wishes deeply to believe, but knew all along from the start something was wrong.
To think I had a moment when I really believed. I'm such a fool! The Two Fingers let us know it was fine to proceed to fix the Elden Ring. Does that mean that the Order has different plans of its own? Morgoth definitely knew something. Why did he use force instead of talking things out? That sounded like...
The Tarnished rushes in the direction where he heard the agonizing scream come from, and finally arrives over a ledge where a church is seen.
How could this be happening? Eleonora,
it seems I am no match for you, but I've learned a thing or two myself. You see, I've sliced the finger off. Please. Please. Eleonora. Yield to the cesspool no longer. Do not stain the immaculacy of your sword. Your flesh. Your fire.
Yura! I'm sorry. You did this! Dragon powers? Yura!
While T is mourning Yura, his hatred towards everything on these lands takes over his thoughts. If he cannot save a friend because his fate to be a lord got in his way, then he does not deserve that title.
He saved my life. We fought a majestic beast together, shared our stories, our adventures. Yet I wasn't there for him.
The Tarnished took the realization that this world is possibly corrupted since the Shattering. Torments have arisen, conflict, despair, sins, everything. The gods caused this mess, and everyone is suffering due to the consequences.
I have been blinded by fate.
T is imagining that these lands is not what everyone is told to believe. It needs to be stopped for all its false impressions and false hope it spreads, as well as the many Tarnished that Yura chased down for the safety of others. Because as far as T knows, the Tarnished themselves have been a problem more than anything else at this moment in time.
Even if it means I must fight my own kind. Yura, Eleonora has been dealt with. She won't trouble anyone anymore. I will hunt down Tarnished and put an end to this misery, just like you. Save the lives of the innocent. Trust me on this. I can feel it coming from them. The yellow flame. This time, I won't let it stop me.
Aren't you precocious? We rarely receive visitors to the Volcano Manor without invitation. Fascinating. And not unlike another guest we had long ago. So, Tarnished, have you ever harbored doubts about the burden of grace and the dogmatic ramblings of the Fingers? If you have, why not join the Volcano Manor and fight with us? Rise with us against the Erd Tree. Your decision is most welcome. Now you belong to the Volcano Manor family. The drawing room lies down the hall. Make yourself comfortable. I am Tanith, the proprietress of this house.
The Tarnished has lost it. This is not what Grace has guided him to do. Although his anger is justified, the way he is going on with this is not right. Rising against the Earth Tree will certainly not fix these lands. But there is nothing we can do now. I suppose we wait and see what happens next. Raya, the woman from the lakes who tried inviting T to join the manor back in Luirnia, gives him a warm welcome.
May you tread the path of valor.
You. What in heaven's name are you doing here?
Bernal?
The Volcano Manor is a pit of recusants who spit at grace and hunt our own kind. I hope you understand the weight of my words.
I understand, all right.
Well, as long as you understand what you're saying. You have harbored doubts from the very beginning. Perhaps this day was always lurking on the horizon. But know that the path you walk is blasphemy and leads only to a miserable death. Before you consider hunting any of your own kind, think on that.
I don't plan to die anytime soon.
Before T starts on his tasks, Bernal offers a toast to welcome the new arrival. Both Tarnished and a couple of the manor members had a wonderful time, though T has kept to himself for the majority of the time. Later came when he was ready to head out to complete the manor's requests. The Tarnished has not disappointed the Volcano Manor. He has fought all who are asked to be eliminated, including the lives of other Tarnished.
So, you've bloodied your sword in the hunt. Then I shall introduce myself once more. Bernal, A recusant, just like you. Recusants have particular battle arts, styled to our methods of slaughter. You've come to understand now, eh? To take power and make it his own. The recusant must hunt his own kind. To raise the flag of revolt against this sanctified pillaging, we recusants must become the most wretched of predators. All you can do is laugh.
As the Tarnished takes a rest after all his missions, Bernarl joins him and both converse and share many stories. Bernarl is a brave warrior who fought many battles and learned many skills and knowledge through them. There is no doubt he is a strong knight. Lady Tanith has called to speak with the Tarnished. Before T leaves, Bernarl gives him an invitation to fight together at the capital's round table. He accepts to meet him there when he is ready.
Well, until we meet again.
As T walks out the room, he is reminded of a similar situation with Yura, where they sat and talked for a long time. How he misses those days, but notices some spirit or something down the hall. The Tarnished wonders if he is seeing things right. Why is there a spirited figure? Yes, the Lands Betweens is full of magic and surprises, but this is a first.
You're Tarnished. Here to put the demigods to the sword. Then please, kill the great serpent. I left the serpent-slaying spear in the Lord's chamber. Worthy Tarnished. Brandish the spear and run him through. The great serpent. That unspeakable monstrosity. Someone must kill him.
I see you've performed another task for us. Here is your usual reward. Please, take it. Now, perhaps the time has come to tell you of the true ruler of this manor, Lord Rykard.
Rykard?
The Erd Tree blessed the Tarnished with grace, but it was all too meager in the face of the enormity of their task. The Tarnished were forced to scavenge, squabbling for crumbs, like the Shard Bearers vying for power in the wake of the Shattering. Our Lord has refused to scurry about, fighting over what miserly scraps they allow us. If the Erd Tree, and indeed the very gods, would debase us so, then we are willing to raise the banner of resistance, even if it means heresy. We at the Volcano Manor, under Lord Rykard, have sworn no rest until it is done.
What have I done? My anger. This cannot be forgiven. I am sorry, Yura. I have deceived you and every other who believed in me. I let my emotions be my blade. Exactly what you told me not to do.
The Tarnished has finally come to his senses and realized what he has done. He has never felt a guilt this strong. He looks at the prized weapon that was given to him by Tanith. The grip of the blade has a sense of familiarity, as if he's held a sword like this before.
From now on, I carry this sword not as a symbol of pride for what I accomplished for this manor, but as a reminder to never go back down that path again. I will try and make things right. Use their weapon against them, against any who go against the fixing of the Lands Between, and redeem myself if possible. Time to get his shard.
Even though Grace is not guiding the Tarnished to seek Rykard for his shard, knowing that many could see something that was special in T is enough to motivate him to continue and try to tend to his given duty to collect shards to fix the Lands Between and be a lord. Whatever it takes. That is the most he can do for now until he figures out what is happening with Grace's absence and the Order's refusal. Having the entirety of the manor standing will cause obstacles in his way, so fighting their lord will give T more chances to pursue that path. That will also let him gain another great rune for fixing the Elden Ring.
The grip of this sword, the swing, it feels all too nostalgic. Another fog.
I left the serpent-slaying spear in the Lord's chamber.
Worthy Tarnished, brandish the spear and run him through.
The Tarnished is convinced Rykard lies on the other side, but without Grace by his side, he wonders if he can still take on demigods.
The Serpent Blade?
He stares at the gigantic snake, wondering if that is actually Rykard. There is only one way to find out.
Rykard.
Very well. Join myself and King as remedy. Together we will devour the very god.
You've defeated our lord. No, I must thank you. Our lord was yet weak. You have taught us that. Defeat is not the end. Our lord is immortal, and will one day rise again. Stronger. Until then, I must stay the path and do my part. I will leave the Volcano Manor before long. I will miss these encounters.
T then searches for Bernarl but does not see him anywhere, and remembers he has a task in the capital. Even though T promised himself not to do any more harm towards his own kind, with hesitation, he has decided to join Bernarl as he does not want his friend to endure the same fate that Yura has. Bernarl has been waiting for T. Both Tarnished do not waste any more time and go for the offense.
Bernal,
So, you killed Rykard. I harbor you no ill will. The strong take. Such is our code. Even he was prepared to meet a wretched end when he first took blasphemy unto his very flesh. But any road, the Volcano Manor is no more. Though we may yet fulfill an old promise. We hunted our own kind, and took what was theirs. O greater will, hear my voice. I am the recusant Bernal. Consider this fair warning.
Bernal takes his leave without saying another word. The Tarnished decides to explore the Round Table while wondering if Bernal really doesn't resent him for shutting down the Volcano Manor. He also wonders what the purpose of this Round Table is. It is awfully deserted. The more he looks around, the more he thinks about his friends and comrades until he finds himself in a room he's never been in before. Strangely, there is a corpse sitting on a seat with some item that looks like seed cursed on its lap. The energy emitting from it is unpleasant.
The wing on the opposite side of the Round Table, howling and wailing of spirits in fear of a curse.
do both round tables have a connection?
The Tarnished takes the item, though he does not know if it will affect him in any way. He figures it is best he watches over the seeds before any mad person takes hold of them. After many long minutes, having explored this abandoned round table has brought back memories of the Round Table of Lost Grace. Roderica, Hugh, Enya, Gideon, and all others who were present.
Will I ever get to see them again?
At this moment, the Tarnished feels a presence, Grace's presence. In haste, he is taken to the Round Table of the Lost Grace. Roderica is the first person to greet T.
A pleasure to see you. Thank goodness you're safe.
As they arrive at her station, she explains how everyone here felt a weird change. Even the spirits felt it. The grace that guides all Tarnished seems to be unstable. Not only that, the negative energy she feels down the hall to Gideon's office has grown stronger and scarier.
Be on your guard, I beg you. He's back. The Dung Eater, again. I can hear them, the spirits as they howl and lament in fear of the curse. And worse than ever, the reverberations of the twisted Malison itself. I can hear, in the Malison, another fearsome order.
Worried, she also mentions that she senses T carrying the same energy. He shows her the seed he picked up at the Capital's round table, wondering if she could help figure out what this is. But all she knows is it is linked to the Dung Eater. He thanks Roderica for the information and finds Enya to have answers about the Earth Tree's entry refusal.
Well, you managed to return. You know what this means. The Earth Tree has spurned you. The fingers remain still, shaken by this turn of events. They are busy consulting the greater will. But thousands of moons must first pass. No matter for me. But you, how will you ever manage to wait?
She explains that with its absence to consult the greater will, Grace will not be of much help. The two fingers were not expecting T to be refused by the Earth Tree and the Order.
But here we are. The burning of the Earth Tree is the first cardinal sin. The fingers dormant, severing our link to the greater will. The realm and all life in ruins. Impossible events transpire beyond the ken of the fingers. Who is to say that the cardinal sin must be cardinal forever? Go on. Finish the job. Only the smoldering flame in the great forge of the giants on the highest peak in the lands between can burn the Earth Tree. But special kindling is required to reignite the flame. For the flame To burn the Earth Tree, a sacrifice is needed.
She then hands T an item he doesn't know the purpose of and sends him off to see Gideon.
Burning the Erd Tree?
That thought has brought back past memories to the Tarnished. The first Elden Lord was tasked to protect the Erd Tree and the Order. He fought many wars for their sake and fought an army of giants at the Mountaintop, as those giants had control over that particular flame Enya mentioned. That war was to ensure the Erd Tree's safety. If T were to use that very flame to burn the Erd Tree, it would make Godfrey's efforts all be in vain. The Tarnished asks Enya if there is another and faster way to do things. The only options are to burn the Erd Tree to destroy the magical thorny barrier, or wait for thousands of years until the Greater Will is reached, where time will get worse and worse. Unsure what to do, T goes and sees Gideon for advice.
You. What is it?
He can tell Gideon is upset about how things have turned out, but he notices that T has gathered another great rune, thinking that perhaps hope may not be lost even with Grace's absence.
Take no heed of cardinal sin. The Two Fingers lost their purpose a long, long time ago.
Gideon, the all-knowing, tells T that the best option is to burn the Erd Tree, and if he knew what it takes to burn it, he would not hesitate to make that his task. The sooner these lands are fixed, the better for everyone. He further explains that the item that T got from Enya is the key to reaching the mountaintop, using the Lift of Rold located east of the capital. The Tarnished is still not convinced about the burning of the Erd Tree, but Gideon orders him that it is his new task. Sensing tension, T does not disobey and exits the room. As the Tarnished steps out of the office, he decides to go further down the hall to see if he can deal with what Roderica is sensing that she claims is worse than Godric. A person is sitting in the middle of the room, and upon entering, he suddenly feels the intensity of the energy, which is the same as that felt from the seed.
This is so much stronger and very unpleasant.
You have felt the curse. I can smell it on you. Pox. Yet tender. I can kill you and defile your corpse. Then the pox will truly be your own.
The Dunk Eater wants the Tarnished to meet him in the capital's outskirts if he truly wishes the pox to be his own. T is feeling uneasy about this whole situation. If Roderica says he is worse than Godric, if she can feel the spirits cry by its presence, and senses that an order can rise out of this, then before moving forth with his task to be a lord, he feels it is necessary to deal with him first. Although the Tarnished can deal with the Dunk Eater right away, he prefers avoiding trouble at the Round Table and thinks it is best to meet him in the outskirts. Roderica stops T in his steps before he departs, warning him that when he leaves, he may never return until the Two Fingers have sorted things out with the Greater Will. The guidance of Grace is of no use with the current state of things. She continues to say that it is a pity such beauty must be burnt away, but it must be done. The Tarnished explains to Roderica that he's done terrible things during his absence, so it would only feel wrong to burn it as he still is repenting for those sins. She understands but tells him that the burning of the Erd Tree is what will save many more lives from more disasters that are to come. To let the burning of the Erd Tree be an end for a new beginning.
Please, become Elden Lord.
That has finally convinced the Tarnished to burn the Erd Tree.
You're right. This has nothing to do with the sins I committed. This is for the sake of these lands, everyone's future.
Even the Two Fingers were shaken by that event, so this is something that has to do with what resides within the Erd Tree, the Golden Order.
Hugh was always saying that you were a lord. To him, so slay her with the weapons he smithed. Slay the god Marika, who cursed us all.
T understands and thanks Roderica for everything. He goes find Hugh and asks him to work on the sword that was given to him by Tanith to mark his debut on becoming the Lord, no matter the sacrifices he must take, no matter the sins he must commit, for everyone that found promise in him. He will make sure that it all comes true for the well-being of everyone. He bids farewell to Roderica, hoping this is not the last time they see each other, then bids his farewell to all and calls upon his grace to take him to the capital, knowing it may be the last time he will see them all. The Tarnished arrives at the capital's bridge where he feels the presence of grace vanish.
Now it is up to me alone to finish all this mess. But first...
He got a swift of the Dung Eater's energy. He follows where that leads and he arrives at a location where another corpse is sitting on a chair with that same seed-looking curse on its lap.
I will kill you and defile your corpse. Then the box will truly be your own. Go and unshackle my corporeal flesh, trapped in the sewer jail below the capital.
Making his way into the capital to find a way to the sewers, the Tarnished has in mind the dragon powers that appeared. He understood that when he feels overwhelmed in emotions, the dragon powers appear. Putting that aside, he encounters Bok in the same location he met him last time. Bok assures that the Tarnished will be a lord even if he is refused passage to enter the Earth Tree. He strongly believes that T will fix these lands. And when that day comes, every being will be grateful. That has given more hope to T to push forward and become the Elden Lord. The Tarnished then asks Bok if there is a way to reach the capital's sewers. Bok noticed a well located near the big stone dragon when he was exploring that seemed to lead somewhere and explained that he felt some disturbing energy coming from there. He advises his master not to go down there. The Tarnished comforts Bok, saying it must be dealt with as it can grow stronger and possibly bring this land in greater ruins. And T is off seeking the well where Bok mentioned its location. Having found a well located near the stone dragon, the Tarnished looks over the edge and is confident that this will lead him underground. Unlike Bok, he does not sense anything. As the Tarnished descends deeper into the area, it does not take long for him to feel it. It is the same energy that the Dung Eater carries, only fainter. He continues to make his way fighting many enemies who seem to be affected by a plague.
Is this the Dung Eater's doing?
And finally, he has reached the destination.
Let me out. Let me out of here. There you are. You warded off my blessing. No one has succeeded in that before. How? I thought. Then it hit me that you are, in fact, me. And may one day defile order itself with the curse stirring within you.
He continues by saying that defiling all those bodies has prevented their souls from making their way to the Earth Tree and live as peaceful spirits, where they are to be trapped, cursed and desperate. This is what beauty is for him. That is one of the most loathsome things to do in the lands between.
I will kill again, and defile each corpse with care, just to be sure that when they're reborn, they'll be cursed, along with their children, and their children's children, for all time to come.
Silence!
Tired of hearing all that nonsense coming out of the Dung Eater, the Tarnished grabs his backside armor and drags him to the end of the cell, forcefully sits him on the one and only chair.
I am the Dung scourge upon the living. I must eat more, defile more.
This guy is insane.
Then it came across the Tarnished's mind. He looks in his pockets where he stored that cursed seed he picked up at the capital's round table. Without a word, he uses that seed on the Dung Eater.
Now, you shall suffer like everyone else you've tormented after death.
A curse upon them all. They'll be born cursed, all of them, along with their children, and their children's children, for all time to come. The curse stirring within you. One day, Golden Order, you'll get what's coming.
Full of hate and disgust, the Tarnished takes the Dung Eater's life, knowing that the spirits won't suffer from his presence, so will the living. He will live in torment and death until the end of times. That will also leave Roderica at rest on that matter too. As the cursed energy slowly vanishes, the Tarnished is wondering what the Dung Eater meant by the curse is stirring within you. An item appears on the corpse lap, vile looking.
I can hear in the Malison another fearsome order.
The Tarnished takes the item with him as he fears the worst for the lands between if anyone would get a hold of that item. He isn't really sure what the purpose of it is, but imagining the worst is what he can think about it for now. He takes his leave, but he can only take a few steps before freezing in place.
Oh no.
The flaming eye energy from Luirnia. He can sense it at this moment. He hastily tries to leave the underground, but the aura is strong. He can't get away from it. He feels drawn by it. Without grace to aid him, he struggles to keep his mind straight while trying to get away from this chaos. Unwillingly, while fighting to keep his sanity, his body moves on its own and advances deeper underground. Many long minutes passes by, then the Tarnished has a thought about Hayeta. Only the yellow flame is equal in power to what is golden. The Tarnished stops resisting and lets himself be drawn by the energy, wherever it takes him.
Enya said a great sacrifice is needed. Perhaps this is what she meant. Maybe the flames have been calling for me this whole time. I hope I'm right on this.
The more he advances, the stronger the aura is. Though T is not resisting the aura, he is trying to keep his mind well from becoming maddened.
I thought I was a dead man.
So you're here as well, are you?
The Tarnished is confused. How did a blind person make her way through all this trouble? Plus, the chaotic aura is still present, but it feels rather warm. He can finally think properly without having to worry about his sanity.
I realized as we've talked, I'll be a maiden, and you, surely a lord.
Hayeta explains that everyone, including herself, has felt the Earth Tree refusing a Tarnished's entry to fix the Elden Ring and become a lord. Just like everyone at the Round Table, Hayeta suggests that the Tarnished burns the Earth Tree. Only the flame of ruin at the mountaintop will burn it, but only the strong can wield it. A finger maiden can help with the burning of the Earth Tree or take on the frenzied flame's power that lies beyond the door to call upon the flame of ruin and burn the Earth Tree himself. In return, a life must be taken.
Sacrifice a maiden or risk my own sanity and go mad. That is what Enya meant.
This is like the realm of hell lying under the golden heavens. The hellfire locked up to avoid chaos. This is a bad idea, but how else is he supposed to do this? With everything the Tarnished did for the manor, he swore to never take another life that does not deserve to be taken. So taking Hayeta as his finger maiden for the sacrifice is not an option for T.
Go to the door ahead after divesting yourself of your possessions. It will surely open, and the three fingers will welcome you. May the flame of chaos find purchase within you.
Before pushing forward, the Tarnished asks in his thoughts for forgiveness. All the efforts Godfrey went through to protect the Elden Ring, the symbol which everyone looks up to, will be attacked by his own two hands. But as far as he knows, everything is a false hope. Roderica is right. This whole mess must come to an end. The order must be fixed to restore the lands between. With the Erd Tree seen as the symbol of hope, committing this cardinal sin will signify that life in ruins will take its end.
Whatever it takes to fix these lands. The pain was as expected.
The Tarnished is feeling the chaos within him, but he does not feel like he will go mad anytime soon. Hayeta asks for the Tarnished to burn her with the flame to make her his finger maiden and read the words of the three fingers.
It burns. I have touched them, the words of the three fingers. As your maiden, allow me to divine them. All that there is came from the one great. Then came fractures, and births, and souls. But the greater will made a mistake. Torment, despair, affliction, every sin, every curse, every one born of the mistake. And so, what was borrowed must be returned, melted all away with the yellow chaos flame, until all is one again as the Lord of Chaos. No more fractures. No more birth.
From the Tarnished's understanding, the one great would be the five fingers. The two fingers and the three fingers must become one again. Having the two fingers on the greater will side means that the three fingers would also have a god, no doubt the god of chaos. The lands between were probably praising the one great until it split, making the greater will take authority of these lands to make it his own. But what of the other half? Regardless, to become the Lord of Chaos would mean literally eradicating these lands. Having such thought has stirred the flame within the Tarnished.
This could end up dangerously. I must keep my thoughts focused. Farewell, Hayeta. Thank you.
The Tarnished makes his way to the east of the capital, through the Forbidden Lands, and with the help of the medallion Enya gave him, the lift takes him to the mountaintops of the Giants.
Ooh, it is cold, but tolerable thanks to the dry air.
Unlike other places of the lands between, the mountaintops are quite peaceful. There aren't many enemies to encounter, and the frenzied flame within T remains calm. This gives more time for him to prepare for what is coming next, although he is unsure where to go from here. He travels through the area, hoping to find the slightest hint on where to go.
What's up with this fog suddenly? A dragon? It's been a while.
He feels the agitation of putting the beast down, just like his other fights with the other dragons, also with the chaos flame acting up within him. The Tarnished decides to take this fight as an opportunity to help him understand the chaos flame's urges. If he were to lose control over it, at least he wouldn't be harming too many beings up here. The dragon powers appear when the Tarnished feels overwhelmed in emotions. He also learned that the use of the dragon powers made him forget about the flame for the time they lasted. It would be great to learn to use them willingly if that can help against the flame's urges. But this still does not answer his questions. Why does he hold such power, and why does he feel the need to eliminate those majestic beasts the second he sees one? Eleonora also had dragon powers, which means the Tarnished is not alone, which has the Tarnished think if he had involvement with dragons in the past.
A cauldron! This has to be it.
The Tarnished travels some more to reach the cauldron and arrives in an area full of frozen giants.
Could this be Godfrey's doing?
The sight of it is giving chills down his spine. For Godfrey to have fought an army of giants is remarkable. He did everything to protect the Earth Tree, to keep the Elden Ring and its blessings safe.
I wish there are different ways to fix the lands between. But if Gideon, Roderica, and Ennia say burning it is the answer, as much as it pains me, I will do it. Just like Ennia said, who says it is to be cardinal forever. Wasn't he at the festival?
That's right. Okina is claimed to be the master of the Inaba warriors who wish for death in combat. He was a scary one to talk to after the victory against Radon, even though he didn't stay for too long during the celebration. Guess he had other plans to embark on the Cesblood journey. This fight has brought back Yura and T's memories. As much as he misses his friend, there is nothing he can do for him now. He must do what is right for these lands. But before moving forward, the Tarnished rests at the church to calm down the yellow flame and focus on trying to understand how to use the dragon's powers by will. The flame has certainly calmed down, and as much as the Tarnished feels the dragon powers welling up within him, it is hard to release it, but there is always a start in everything. That is already an improvement. Having the flame calm is what matters the most at this moment. The Tarnished makes his way to the cauldron and sees in the distance a giant.
If Godfrey fought an army, one shouldn't be as challenging. did it! I willingly used a dragon spell.
T is proud of himself for that accomplishment, but must remain calm as the flame is also agitated. As the Tarnished walks to the cauldron, he wonders how the first Elden Lord fought many giants at once. That one alone was challenging for himself. The Tarnished wonders if Godfrey fell in his last battle, or perhaps the love between him and Marika wasn't strong. Whatever the reason, from his little knowledge about that lord, the Tarnished finds him to be a great worthy being. He takes a seat to calm down the chaos flame, but it starts to stir even more, awakening the dormant flame of ruin.
This is it. To the people and creatures of these lands, to the gods watching, as much as it pains me to burn the symbol of hope, let this sin be the end for the new beginning. Where am I?
The Tarnished wakes up in an unfamiliar place and has no idea how he got there. This place is unique and crumbles, taken over by storms floating in the air as if gravity does not exist. He wonders how to get back to the lands between, as it is in dire need of fixing, especially after having burned the Erd Tree. The more he advances through this crumbly mist, the more the architectural structures of this place seems more familiar. Then it came to his mind. T remembers seeing scraps of familiar structures laying in Limgrave.
Could it be related?
The Tarnished, just like when he first saw those structures, feel a sense of nostalgia.
I feel like I've been here before, but I could be mistaken. Is that a dragon? It looks awfully different from what I've encountered.
This dragon is unlike other dragons T has fought. Its skin is pale and solid like stones. He vaguely recalls fighting those beasts, but cannot get too distracted with past flashbacks as the flame within him is stirred by the action. He must remain focused on defeating the dragon. That was quite a challenge for the Tarnished, but he managed to defeat the beast with his blade. The sword is barely damaged.
You did a great job on this. I was able to beat rocks with scissors.
The Tarnished travels some more. He encounters the undead, skeletal beasts, but they were no challenge for him. However, continuing his way through the crumbled land, right before his eyes, two enemies make an appearance. They look strong.
Well, we meet again.
Bernal!
Both Tarnished join forces to fight those enemies. They are very strong opponents, and after struggling, both Tarnished have managed to defeat them.
It's so good to see you again.
Bernal, ready to be on his way, tells the Tarnished he misses those encounters, but there is a task he must attend to. He leaves without saying another word.
He seems to be in a hurry. Is he still following the manners code? Maybe having the frenzy flame within me is making him think ill of me? Ugh. At least he seems to be doing well.
The Tarnished wander some more, encountering beasts, annoying birds, and more dragons. He ends up reaching a dead end, but it may be a good place for him to rest as he must calm down the chaos flame. He finds a nice place to lie down and closes his eyes. The Lands Between is a realm of many lands combined, surrounded by a thick fog. It was once a place of peace, where every being and creature lived in harmony. Many worshipped different gods, but one god stood out more than the others. The One Great, symbolized by the five-finger beast that roamed the lands. Many beings that lived beyond the fog were welcomed with open arms. Life would be bright for as long as it lasted. However, there came a time when big reptile creatures welcomed themselves to the Lands Between, wreaking havoc and causing destruction for power. The times were very rough for everyone. A time that is known as the Age of Dragons. The many desperate prayers that were sent to the many worshipped gods were unresponsive, and the five fingers have all gone missing, making the people lose hope for their future. Many decades, nearly a century later, a bright golden star made a landing, shaking the grounds. The Elden Star, emitting such greatness and power, it caused the dragons to fight amongst themselves, to have that power for their own, to be the ultimate ruler. The one and only dragon known to have vanquished all goes by the name of the Dragon Lord Placidus Sax, the five-headed storm dragon, ruler of the Lands Between. However, the Elden Star had a mind of its own, releasing its greatness against the giant reptiles, which would push them back. That has awoken the confidence of many beings in these lands to fight back, growing a powerful army over time. For many more decades, the war of men against the dragons took place. The dragons had to step down as they were eventually overwhelmed and retreated to the land known as Farum Azula, located south of Limgrave, where they sought refuge and inhabited it, still having Placidus as their respected lord. Farum Azula was later hit by an asteroid, which caused that land to break and crumble. It also lost its gravity, floating away in the sky. Today, that land lies east of the mountaintop of the giants, with the name Crumbling Lands of Farum Azula. Since then, the dragons were nearly non-existent and the menace was gone, marking the end of the war of men versus dragons. The many beings would praise the one great for saving them from further disaster, but soon found out that it is the doing of another god, which they call the Greater Will, symbolized by the two-finger beasts. Wherever the Elden star landed, a bright golden tree started to grow, which was later named the Earth Tree. It kept inside a very strong power, the Elden Ring, which would keep anyone on the lands between protected and safe from any threat or menace, but being so small, it was very vulnerable. Marika, who came to the lands between from another realm a long time ago and helped fight against the dragons, was chosen by the Greater Will to be the vessel of the Elden Ring to protect it, making her the queen of these lands. Godfrey later came into the picture and married Queen Marika, making him the first Elden Lord. He is a man who came from outside the lands between and was called upon by magic, the Grace of Gold. He was known as Horalu. He lusted for war so much that he was given a companion to suppress those urges. However, with time passing by, the Earth Tree would face more dangers as many people would rise against it, as they do not see the good within it. Godfrey and his army have fought many wars to protect the Earth Tree that keeps the Elden Ring safe. That also includes the war against the giants, the greatest threat. With every menace dealt with, Queen Marika willingly banned the first Elden Lord from the lands between, as she saw no purpose in him, and he and his men became the first Tarnished. Marika, desiring a world-free death, has removed the Rune of Death from the Elden Ring. The Rune of Death is what's responsible for the cycle of life and death. She entrusted that shard to her gifted shadow, her half-brother Malekith, and both have agreed the Crumbling Lands would be the safest place to hide it. In case things were to go wrong, an item was crafted to gain resistance against such a rune. The Blasphemous Claw, hidden in the Crumbling Lands. Without the Rune of Death, the greater beings as well as Marika's offsprings, all demigods, became immortal. The lesser beings were still mortals, but upon death, they would continue living as spirits where peace is met, but that also meant feeding the Earth Tree their essence, as that would make it grow bigger and stronger. The Golden Order was later founded as a form of governing principle. Within time, the Earth Tree grew stronger, the Golden Order became more promising, and Marika found another consort, Radagon, who became the second Elden Lord. The realm was slowly able to be restored, and many decades up to a century later, the Queen's son Godwyn perished. She banned many beings from these lands, making them all tarnished, and shattered the Elden Ring as she saw times change against her favor. Fixing the Elden Ring came to be more challenging as great changes came to the lands between and a war waged upon all. The War of the Shattering. There are those who remain loyal to the Order, sacrificed all they had for its safety, and those who fought against it to obtain the pieces of the Elden Ring for power of their own. During the war, the births of many new torments, sins, despairs, and curses arose. That war was extremely major and out of control that even the Greater Will could not help to fix it, having him abandon the entire realm of the lands between. With Radagon trying to fix the Elden Ring to bring order back to the lands between. Without the missing shards, his efforts were all in vain. The Tarnished wakes up from his rest, wondering what kind of dream he had, only to realize that it was not a dream but memories he saw.
I was there, during the Age of the Dragons. I had my own clan, my own family. It was a rough time, but we were a small army who fought for our lives against those beasts who joined forces with the army of the Golden. I remember Far Missoula being south of Limgrave, where the dragons retreated. My clan never gave up the fight and continued to chase them down, even on their claimed territory, to get their leader and break them for what they did to all of us. We were driven by a strong urge to finish them all. I remember standing alone before their lord, and then the asteroid hit. I was so close, yet never got to finish this task for these lands. For peace upon us all. Ren is my name. I remember now. I grew up in the clan of the Dragon Slayers, a clan who chased down dragons until the very last one, to avenge all the fallen innocent beings and creatures. Well, Destiny surely wanted this day to come. You will pay for this.
Ren grew up learning how to use the sword against beasts, specifically dragons, to fight them when he came of age. It was a time hated by many, including Ren himself. The Dragon Slayers not only fought dragons with blades, but learned how to use dragon incantations to give them more chances in victory. Only after defeating their scaly adversary would they be ready to have a spell replicating them.
It all makes sense now. Having my memory back, now I know how to use those incantations. It will be of great help to suppress the Yellow Flame's agitation and help me through becoming the Elden Lord.
Ren is unsatisfied having killed his greatest enemy. If he would have defeated him back then, it would have great meaning. The Greater Will came to give his aid and protection to the lands between from any menace.
But we were all betrayed by the Greater Rule of America and all her offspring, the demigods.
If the Greater Will has abandoned the realm of the lands between, then suspecting that the faith and hope the Two Fingers and Grace were spreading were false was right. The Tarnished is growing irritated the more he thinks about this situation, and the Flame of Frenzy certainly is not helping. He wonders who acted as a god to bring all Tarnished back to the lands to restore the lands between and the Order. With no doubt, he is certain it is the Golden Order's doing. Then it came to his mind how he knows about Godfrey. He was not there when he made his appearance. Clearly, it is the doing of Grace to give confidence to fix the Golden Order. Ren then recalls his refusal to enter the Erdtree to fix the Elden Ring.
We are all forsaken.
Like Godfrey, after we Tarnished fulfill our duty to fix the Elden Ring, we will all be banished once more. There is no doubt about it.
Everything on these lands is nothing but a sin. Even in the afterlife, they live as slaves feeding the Erdtree. It pains the Tarnished to know that Roderica will not be happy about this information.
Melt it all away with the yellow chaos flame.
No, I need to calm down. The flame in me is giving me bad thoughts. Even if I make my way to fix the Elden Ring to restore the lands between, things will not be as they used to be way back in time. This is frustrating. All my efforts have been for nothing.
Knowing that all Tarnished will be banned from these lands for fulfilling their duties, Ren has changed his mind about one thing.
I will become the Lord, fix the Elden Ring for those who believed in me, and destroy the Golden Order, for they are the reason everything is a mess right now.
Ren takes his leave in search of the Rune of Death, as burning the Erdtree is not enough to burn the thorny barriers. Without the Death Rune, the Erdtree is practically immortal.
Whatever it takes, I will become the Elden Lord and fix these lands.
The Tarnished wanders around to see if he can locate the claw, as it would be helpful against such a dangerous rune. But before him, many beasts in the area have been slayed.
What happened here? Bernal?
Without a word, Bernal attacks Ren. The Tarnished demands what is the matter, but Bernal does not respond. He is very upset with this situation that even the yellow flame leaked. Why did his friend go against him? T noticed an item on the corpse, the blasphemous claw. Now things are adding up. Bernal chose the path to rise against the Erdtree. He must have known about the Rune of Death and sought the claw so he could finish the Earth Tree. No matter what, Ren was a rival to Bernarl. That day was to come.
Is the code that important to want to eliminate me? Your friend? One who fought alongside you?
The flame agitating within Ren is causing him to think negatively about this world and wants to burn it. Having his thoughts loaded with all the unfairness that has happened to these lands and all the betrayals from the gods above to his friends is taking a toll on him. Having those who trusted him is what helps him keep his mind straight.
This flame is dangerous indeed. I must keep my calm, no matter what, for those who believed.
The Tarnished places the claw in his pocket and searches for Malekith. The motivation he feels now is different from before, but again, this is for the sake of these lands, as he keeps repeating it in his thoughts as he does not want to succumb to the flame of chaos.
A fog.
The Tarnished stares at the fog, wondering if the Rune of Death lies right behind. So far, every fog he has crossed led to what he was seeking, so this time shouldn't be any different.
Thou who approacheth destined death, I will not have it stolen from me again.
This does not look like Malekith, but he mentioned the Rune of Death, so it is here, somewhere.
Become my blade once more.
It is him after all. did it!
Only a few more steps to face the Golden Order, fix the Elden Ring, and restore the lands between for all who believed in him, for the sake of everyone.
I knew you'd come.
Gideon! Come on, let's finish this. Together.
What a sad state of affairs. To stand before the Elden Ring. To become Elden Lord. I commend your spirit, but alas, none shall take the throne. Queen Marika has high hopes for us, that we continue to struggle. Unto eternity.
Ren cannot believe it. The one who shared his knowledge to go this far in the same pursuit. The one who had a desire to be Elden Lord. Or so it's what he thought.
In my bones, a tarnished cannot become a lord. Not even you. A man cannot kill a god.
First Bernal, and now Gideon.
Has everyone at the round table turned their backs on you? Has Roderica?
His thoughts are a mess. He cannot control his emotions. He does not want to bear any more of this.
This world must burn. Succumb to the yellow flame of chaos. Godfrey?
Long and hard didst thou fight, tarnished warrior.
Is that Grace I see? The Order must have brought him back to stop me.
Be assured, the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned. To be granted audience once more. Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. service. Sirosh. I've given thee courtesy enough. Now I fight as Horalu. Warrior!
Yes, fight me as who you really are. Marika?
Ren is confused. Why does it look like Marika is punished? That got Ren more confused. Have Radagon and Marika merged together? None of this matters anymore, as T will make sure to eliminate what is left of the Golden Order.
Fighting the Elden Ring? Well, you must be the god Gideon referred to, and the reason why everyone in these lands is suffering. I am the Dragon Slayer Ren, who will vanquish you!
The Golden Order has been dealt with, but Ren is not satisfied. From the very beginning, he was tasked to fix the Elden Ring to restore the Golden Order and become the Elden Lord. But the more he approached that goal, the more disaster arose. The Tarnished is about to lose it, the yellow flame urging the Tarnished to destroy the entire realm.
You are a worthy fellow Tarnished.
The Erd tree is waiting for you.
Stop!
Another face.
Make it stop!
Against the Erd tree.
One again.
For all time to come.
Please, become Elden Lord.
They betrayed me. No, for the many who believed, they all deserve another chance. Every being shall pain furthermore. Cry to the gods. Beg for mercy. suffer through despair like I have. For all time to come. This land.
I'm dodging crazy to avoid those laser beams, right? And still his health is like that, and I'm like, fucking, let's get it before I die, you know? My mimic is almost dead. Oh, my mimic died. My mimic died. And I'm just panicking, like, oh shit, please do not die. And then my potion's empty. You see it, it's empty, right? Then, oh my goodness. Then, like, oh shit, I better not fucking die. Look at his health! And, like, look at this, like, oh my fucking god, like, what is this? Look at this health. He's got literally 0.5 pube hairs of life. Like, what the fuck? And then look at this, look at this. Okay, this is pretty incredible. I had no idea. So now he's about to disappear, right? Look at this. He got stunned mid-disappearing. Like, what is this? This is a first. Now he disappears, right? Well, look at this. It's like so weird. He's there, right? And then, why is he attacking so far away? Like, look at this. He's even like on the weird edge. I don't know. I just thought that was so weird. I thought I'd share. the Tarnished can deal with the Dark Eater, although the Tarnished can deal with the Dark Eater.
But for her to compare the negative energy she feels to Godric, what did he do to the other Tarnished in school? There's something worse than Godric? I don't know. Maybe.
Through the forbidden lens and with the help of the medallion Enya gave him, what the fuck is this?
Things will not be as they used to be back way in...
He would like to know... what?
How could this be? My daughter deserved better. The fault lies with me. I chose duty over my daughter's safety. And that is how fate has answered.
What have I done? My anger. Some Tarnished were good people. Got to know them at the Radon Festival. This cannot be forgiven.